Good evening, Taurus. This is Empress Rose here, and welcome to your reading. These are general readings, so take what works, leave what doesn't. And if I don't catch your wavelength or storyline on this reading, check your other major placements, see if I maybe caught your storyline on one of those. Or that's just interesting to watch your other placements. So, we are grateful for that message we're about to receive for Taurus. We're starting with the Oracle Mystical Moments for an intuitive vibe. Just a warning, I am a pokey little puppy today. I'm moving so slow. These readings are going a long time. Okay, what do we have here? And I think one spun around in here somewhere. Where did it go? That little bugger go. Oh. Well, it's spun around. If it's spun around, it's spun back around and just kind of not meant for our eyes. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Wow. Just a little note here. Oh my goodness. Okay. You've got spring and fall and all of it together. You've got a lot of changes going on here, Taurus. Change of seasons is what we're starting with. This is spring and fall. All the seasons changing, everything at once. Your job is to stand still. You're not making this change. You're not going to be able to affect this change. Just everything's changing. Everything around you is changing. Everyone around you is changing, and it's all at once, and you're sort of being the calm in the center of the storm for people and for the situation. And then we have all is connected, a very fall vibe as well. But we have, this is my Anansi card. This is the storyteller, and everything is affecting everything else. So everything's connected. So we've got this, like, the winds of change have come in and they're just kind of changing your clothes for you here. And you've got your under things on, you're in your underwear. So you're kind of exposed during this change, but there's a calmness to it. But as these things change, everything else is always changing. And you can't see this, but all these leaves are connected through spider threads, right? And Anansi is a storyteller. So there's something about the story you're telling yourself about these changes or about yourself or something like that that's affecting everything else. So, and then just with this card, this change of seasons card, I think the focus here is going to be more on every little thing changing in your life is pulling on something else. And that's why all the seasons are changing at once, because there's some little thing that's changing and it's rippling out. The effects are just rippling out and everything else is changing. And this could be talking, the way you talk about something. This could be your language. This can be part of this storyteller thing and the stories we're telling and the way we're telling them, because when we talk about things, even when we talk about the past things that have already happened, we have this way of talking about it and we have this way of framing it where sometimes we're a victim, but if we could reframe it to where we triumphed over something, to where we were a hero over something, if we can reframe the story, then suddenly we actually change a lot of things in our lives, and things will be changed. It's very subtle and it's very ethereal, and there's a subtle pull on reality. So you're pulling on one thread of reality and sort of pulling on that, pulling it towards you, understanding it, changing the narrative, changing how you see it, and that is causing all these other things that you don't even see how they're connected to change. So when we shift our perspective and we shift our mentality and we shift anything in our lives like that, all of the other pieces need to change too. And this reminds me also of when we go through a big change, it's like we're little puzzle pieces. And we're like, I don't like being this shape. Yes, it's perfect. Everybody else around me likes being this shape, but I don't want to be this shape anymore. And then we change the shape of our own puzzle piece, which is absolutely in our power and our complete right to do. And then all the shapes around us are like, wait, what? this means I have to change. This means I have to adapt to you. This means I have to change something about myself. Or we're kicking you out of the puzzle. So it's sort of something like that. Like there's a change that you're making that just seems really subtle and might just be in how you're framing a situation, but it's going to cause all the pieces around you to have to change, and it's going to create a lot of change around you, and that change ripples out. So if you're healing something within yourself, if that's where your focus is on your own personal healing, this is going to change just your relationships with everybody and how everything moves like that. And it sounds scary, but once you get through the scary part, it's actually really awesome and really cool. So everything's connected, and that's why it feels like everything's changing all at once, because it kind of is. Anytime we change one part of this equation that we're in and we're part of, all these other parts are going to change, whether they want to or not. And so we're pulling on one little thread here. She's just pulling on one little thread, and the whole thing has to change, and it's going to be remarkable. I wouldn't be surprised if we got a tower moment, because that kind of change is going to, we're talking about something that just feels to you like a very simple thing. I'm just going to change how I talk about this, just going to reframe this, and suddenly these ripples go out. And this could be internal within you, where you just change, you just decide, I'm going to change the way I talk about this one story about my parents. I'm going to change the way I frame that to be more positive and better for me. And somehow you pull on that one thread, and the whole thing the change just ripples out away from you, and so many other things in your life start changing too. So that's what we're talking about. You are very focused. This is the observer. You're watching something very closely, very attentively, except for you kind of also get distracted, because if you see her, she's looking out the corner of her eye, which is very important. This is between being very focused on something and letting our minds wander. That dance right there is actually creates sort of a brainstorm of new ideas for us. Our peripheral vision, we're all, especially with our phones and our computers and all that stuff, it's all with this focus right here. But life-saving, life-giving is the peripheral vision, seeing what's out of the corner of the eye, or at least being able to pay attention to that, what's out of the corner of the eye, while we're paying attention to what's in front of our face. So that dance between those two things actually creates some really cool ideas, and that focused daydream, and that pull between. Anyway, she's really focused. She appears to be very focused. She's definitely very committed. She's very committed to what she's looking at right here. Gets a little distracted, but this is all part of the process, and part of growth, and part of building new ideas. Is be focused, but don't be destructively focused. Don't be obsessed. Just be focused, but allow your focus to wander a bit, because that's a really important dynamic between those two things. And then we have transformation. So when I see this card, I see an incomplete transformation, even though there's literally nothing in this card that specifically says that. But I see a close to completed transformation. It's still going on. You have to, it's showing like this. I was talking about you transforming something, you changing something. So there's something inside of you that's changing. You are changing, and it's going to affect everything in ways that you can't tell right now. So, and it's going to be very good. Okay. So you're changing, you're growing, you're developing, and it's going to affect things you had no idea it was going to touch and affect. But here you are. This is the core of it. This is the epicenter of the change. It's something in your heart, something with value and self-worth. And I'm seeing that can be a little focus right here that we're having too. The thing that we're observing too has to do with having a sense of self-worth enough to focus on this change, to focus on what's happening and who you are, and feeling worthwhile for your own focus, feeling like you're worthwhile for this focus. There's a lot, you are changing quite a bit here. It's going to touch things you had no idea it was going to touch. You're very focused on your growth and your change here. And almost this change is a little bit effortless feeling. You just need to stand there and let things sort of change around you, because all you did was pull on one thread, and it's going to have this effect. All you did was go into your cocoon a little bit, and then here we go. We're changing. So something's going to change here. Then you have full moon in Gemini. The answers you need are coming, so you may not have them in completion right now. This is about communication. This is about ideas and communication. And so you're going to have some ideas. So maybe you don't even understand how you're changing and what it's affecting, but that's all going to come. That's all going to be revealed with time. I had a landlord that used to say all the time, more shall be revealed. And I like that phrase a lot. It's so simple and almost stupid, but I love it. It's been a beacon to me. So more shall be revealed. You don't understand. That's what I was saying. Like, you're changing in a way that you don't understand right now, but you are going to understand it, and you're going to see it, and it's going to be clear to you at some point. So the answers you need are coming. And then full moon in Taurus, your dreams need a practical plan, Taurus. We got a full moon in Taurus. And if I know any, the Tauruses I know always need a practical plan. Or they should have one, ideally, not necessarily their strong suit, but they should have one. So your dreams need a practical plan. So something coming into reality here, that maybe some of these ways that you were thinking and the ways that you changed internally, you're going to start to see those effects on your reality and how they're playing out and how those ripples are going out. So plan for that. Think about what that's going to look like. It might be really surprising to you. So, yeah, your dreams need a practical plan. All right, we're going to move on to the Ethereal Visions deck. Got everything right here. Okay. All right, Taurus. This is your past, your present, your inner landscape. What's at issue? Your environment, your to-do list, and your possible outcome. All right. Oh, I think you got this last time. In your recent past, you have the Hierophant. You have a religious leader of some sort, or a religious institution of some sort, and that's somehow playing in this whole all is connected, changing vibe, transformation. Maybe you've changed your relationship with church or your relationship with leadership. So the Hierophant and Justice are two cards. We don't have Justice here. I'm just randomly categorizing things for you. So there are two cards that both refer to institutions and states of mind or states of being. So, and what's really funny to me, I mean, lots of cards do that, but what's really funny to me about both of those cards is religious institutions and justice institutions can often have very little to do with justice, actual justice, and actual spirituality. So this card can kind of confuse me sometimes, because it's like, are we talking about the institution of church, or are we talking about the principles behind church and that church grew out of and developed out of? So we have sort of this monk here with his spiritual symbol in his hand, a lot of growth, a lot of connection to the spiritual realm, sort of an angelic vibe here too, but we have this connection to spirituality and or organized religion. Spirituality or organized religion, take your pick, take your narrative here. Occasionally the two, organized religion can often be just like a cultural expression of an original spiritual belief that underlies the whole culture, that everything is sort of agreeing to be based on, that we've all consented to this reality of these are our baseline beliefs. But most cultures have that very similar baseline beliefs. But so this institution sprouts up out of that as an expression. So oftentimes our religion is a path, a method to express our spirituality, a method to connect to the divine. And so different cultures have developed different methods to connect with the divine. So this is talking about your method, and in your recent past, how the route you took, the path you took to connect with the divine. Like, it's like everybody eats, and different cultures came up with different foods to eat and different flavors based on what was available. And so that's similar with spirituality and with religion and our religious beliefs, is we all have this spiritual religious drive here that we're connecting to. And it's just sort of what was available, what were the ideas, what developed in our culture here to make that path, to make that road to the divine, for us to travel. God, things get a little lost along the way sometimes, but that was the original point. So the original point is, in your recent past, you've got religion, spirituality, spiritual leadership, religious leadership, some sort of leadership in the church or in some sort of spiritual grouping. And in your present moment, you have the magician. You have everything you need. You're manifesting something. Something is afoot here. Wish fulfillment, magic words. Oh man, we were talking about, the Anansi storyteller, magic words. You're stumbling upon some magic words, some ways to phrase things and talk about things that are going to have an effect on reality here. And you have your magic wand, and you have your words, your abracadabra, your magic words, and something about how you're telling a story is going to just create a new reality for you, or create something in reality, or bring something. And I'm not talking like abracadabra, cha-ching, and now I suddenly have like a genie that I can have 3 wishes from, or suddenly I have my big beautiful truck because I said these right words and all that stuff. Like, not that kind of magic, but the kind of magic where your relationships change and are healthier and are better and are more about what you need. The kind of magic where you feel better about yourself, you feel more confident because you've learned how to reframe a story. And the story you tell about yourself, the stories we tell about ourselves have so much profound effect on who we are, who we believe we could be in life. And so this is you telling this story and coming across these magic words that change reality and change everything, and you don't even realize it, that just a simple reframing, rephrasing of the story of your childhood, or the story of your breakup, or the story of your job loss, like this story, once you reframe it and find better words to talk about it, it changes something in reality. And it's a key to magic, and it's key to changing our reality, is changing our framing of events and how we talk about them. And the words are like a scaffolding or a structuring, or they're like the steel, they're like the studs of the words, or the studs of the story, and the whole story is sort of wrapping around the structure here and our mentality here. And sometimes when we change those words, we can change the whole layout of the house. We can move walls, and it feels like magic, but what it really is talking about things and coming up with words and ways to phrase things and frame it, that just kind of change who we are in a way. I think I've talked about that enough. I'm starting to repeat myself. In your inner landscape, there's this beautiful offering coming in, but we're full up here. We've already had our fill of something a little less nutritious. And so when this like elixir, when this sort of divine thing comes in, we've already filled up on our alcohol and our liquor, so we're not able to take the cup from the divine, right? So this is about your hopes and fears. Maybe you're afraid of missing out on something. Maybe you're hopeful that something will be offered again and you'll be able to take it this time. Or maybe you're just, a part of you is shut down to an offering and you're not open to it right now. And that's sort of an internal process. And maybe what's happening here is the way you're talking about something is closed your eyes to this divine offering, and it wants to come in here, but you're not able to see it because of how you view something or talk about something, and the words you use aren't allowing you to open your eyes. So you may be worried about missing out on an opportunity, and you may be worried about that right now, or you may actually be just internally too occupied with something else, but you're not able to open your eyes to the opportunity being presented to you right now, because of a preoccupation with something else going on. At issue is the death card. So we have a major transformation, but it's not happening. So, and it could be more focused on the grief process or what you're losing in this process, losing some sort of narrative, some sort of, maybe when we change the way we talk about something, sometimes we lose like a part of our identity. Like if you've always identified as like a victim of child abuse or something like that, it can be hard to lose that, and it can be more of a focus of like, wait, you're asking me to like not view myself this way? That doesn't make sense. No, we're asking you to view yourself as a survivor, as a strong, amazing survivor of this stuff that you had to go through. You've survived that. You're triumphant. You've triumphed over this past and this childhood. Like, so you may be a little more focused on the losses and not necessarily the triumphs. So, but you've had a switch. This is a transformation, and you may be just focusing on the loss part of the transformation and not quite understanding what you gain, that all of this is connected. So what can feel like a loss gets reframed into a positive. But there's a major transformation here. It's not happening yet. It's held up somehow. And this seems to be a very popular theme with everybody this week, is transformation, major changes being held up. And this could just be also focusing on the loss. Anytime we step through a doorway or a threshold, we're leaving one space and we're entering another. That's just literally how the universe is set up, and those are the rules. So we're leaving a room and we're entering another. And this one is maybe focusing more on the room you're leaving and not quite seeing the room you're entering into yet. Because death is a threshold, is a transformation. We can have our focus on one side of the wall or the other. So this is saying that one thing that's holding you back is the focus on the room that you're leaving, not the room that you're going in. You're focusing on the loss of these clothes, not the way they're being reformatted and put back together to be a better outfit for you. Now you're not focused on the new outfit, you're focused on the old one that's leaving right now and changing. So any part of transformation, we've got two major transformation cards right here. And, you know, this would be like, I'm a butterfly, but I really miss, but whatever happened to that caterpillar, oh my God, the caterpillar died, and the caterpillar just doesn't exist anymore. Isn't this sad? So the focus is too much on the loss of the caterpillar right now, and not on the butterfly and the transformation. So that's an issue that's going on right now, and that could be you or someone around you that's causing that. In your environment, we have a lot of fast moving energy. We have these two sphinxes finally working together in their mysterious way. And there's just this, look, we've got another magic wand here. So we've got a lot of movement going on in your environment, a lot of moving parts, a lot of moving pieces. There's just some really fast, almost magical feeling movement in your environment. Could be this change is going on really quickly. But it's around you. What surrounds you is this fast moving, almost magical. We've got two magic wands. We've got three magic wands here. We've got this religious magic wand. We've got this magician's magic wand, and we've got the chariots. This isn't a whip. This is a magic wand. So fast moving energy, three magic wands, massive transformation, change. So much transformation. It's so cool. It's this abracadabra change. I love it. Your to-do list is the Hanged Man. This is exactly what this is. Things are changing. Things are moving. Things are changing really quickly. Your job is to hang out while everything changes around you. You're going to be getting free. This is all part of freeing yourself. This is fruit. This is fruit ripening on the tree, okay? So you're just ripening, and you're just letting these changes happen while you hang out. You're the hanging out man. This is what this is, the hanging out man. I don't think we should call it the hanged man anymore. We're going to change the words here and the way we frame this. This is hanging out man. Your job is to hang out while these changes happen, while this transformation. The cocoon is hanging on a branch. This is the cocoon. You're hanging on the branch here. You're getting free. That's what's actually happening. But to the untrained eye, you're just hanging out on the branch. So this is the cocoon. hanging on the branch. Well, this baby starts doing its magic and happening and changing and transforming. You have transformation all written all over. And again, we're dealing with iconic images. We're dealing with, what do you call those? I can't remember. But, you know, big storylines, so that your storyline might be a little smaller. You might need to scale the enormity of this message down to a smaller change or something like that. But this is talking, I mean, we do have the Death card here, and we've got some pretty major changes. So some of you are going through some big changes. Your job is to hang out because these changes are happening to you, for you. Inside you, and then the changes within you are going to be happening outside you too. And what we have as a possible result, we have this High Priestess. This High Priestess is the tarot. This is the tarot, and this is Source. She has the book closed. The book is closed. And you're not going to be allowed to see past this point. This is, I know, and I'm not telling you, because this whole transformation, this situation, this is your focus right now. Your focus is here now, what you're doing, all of these change of seasons, this whole thing, this change, this transformation. You've got 2 magic cards here. And you've got 2 transformation, absolutely change, hang out while the change happens cards. Your only job is to hang out right now. How cool is that? Just hang out. Your dreams and your practical plan, though. But answers are coming, and but they're not here yet. She's not giving you any answers yet. Okay, so we've got answers you need are coming. They're on their way. They're not here yet. Right now she's got the book closed, and she wants you focusing on this change and this transformation, and figuring out the magic of your words and your stories and your transformation. So anyway, another long reading. I don't know. I can't stop it. I can't make them shorter. I mean, I probably could, but I'm flowing here. I'm going to let this flow out the way it wants to flow out. So Taurus, I hope that reading was helpful for you. Thank you so much for your likes, subscribes, and comments. And they both are encouraging to me, of course, which is great. And I like, but also they help raise the visibility of the channel so that other people can find these stories and can be helped by them as well. So thank you very much. I hope you have a wonderful week.